My parents are both from Cape Town, South Africa.
It's something to be proud of your grandfather for.
I mean, I talked about my grandparents being freedom fighters.
Yeah. But real freedom fighters, I mean, really like deep in there, yeah. And that's why we left South Africa, because of that.
My mom moved here in, I think, 1965. My dad moved here in 1992. We've talked about their experiences in South Africa a little bit.
Do you want to see this video of me as a young man in the freedom struggle?
Okay.
You got to look at this.
All right.
I wrote this.
YouTube?
I mean, YouTube is a good place to start.
All right. My dad, probably since he lived there longer, he tells me more about it. He was a very anti-Apartheid freedom fighter. He was in a band, and he wrote a lot of anti-Apartheid songs that became very popular.
They were relevant to the freedom struggle, and we released the song in the band, got on the radio because the government censors didn't pick up on it. Yeah.
He was close to it. He had some friends who got arrested for opposing apartheid publicly. I think it's very cool that especially my dad was fighting against apartheid, that he was right on the front lines, doing everything he could. Racism in the U.S. isn't as prevalent as it was 50 years ago, back when there were still Jim Crow laws, that kind of thing. But I think that subtly racism is a problem. I think that there is a lot of separation between races. In high school, we've noticed that our friend group is mostly white, mostly Jewish. My elementary school is in a dual immersion program, so we spent half the day learning in English, half the day in Spanish. That was every day. It was a very even mix of kids. There were no friendships based on race or everything. Everyone was friends with each other. My best friends were both from the Dominican Republic. I think that when you first go into elementary school and you go into kindergarten, you're not really exposed to the kind of pop culture that tells you how different races should act. Because, I mean, you're only 4 or 5 years old. No one can expect you to understand that kind of thing. But then once you get into middle school, even if you have those old friends, you're exposed to that kind of thing that tells you how different people of different skin colors should act. And then those friendships kind of form in middle school. And then in high school, that problem is even perpetuated even more. I think that sports is a place where race matters the least. And especially my basketball league, it's pretty mixed. There's a lot of kids of all different races. There's Hispanic kids, black kids, white kids, Asian kids.
They got the ball.
I think that it's just everyone there to play basketball and have fun. And it just kind of brings a lot of people of all different walks of life together. I think it'd be interesting to learn how other people interpret racism so that I can be more sensitive to their feelings. It's hard to be sensitive to someone when you don't know what the problem they have is, what their issue is. I think that once you actually learn the problem that they have with what's going on, then you can actually change who you are, change what you do to be more sensitive to them.